Hey everyone, I'm Katie Robert, and this is Inbox Insights for the week of August 13th, Soft Skills and Generative AI in the Workplace. Why soft skills aren't soft. Here's a story that perfectly illustrates a much bigger problem we need to talk about. We recently had an incident where a generative AI model made a telling decision. It assumed that my content about strategy and soft skills was less important than Chris's more technical content and prioritized his work accordingly. This wasn't just a technical glitch, it was a reflection of deeply embedded bias about what kind of work and expertise gets valued. If you want full details on this troubling example of AI bias, check out our podcast at trustinsights.ai/TI podcast. But here's what really got me thinking. When exactly did soft skills become synonymous with unimportant? Let's be honest here. Calling them soft is probably the first problem. It's like we've collectively decided that anything involving human connection, communication, or strategic thinking is somehow less valuable than knowing how to code or run a financial model. And that's just the wrong way to think about it. The soft skills problem. Last week, I wrote about the evolved T shaped person. And you know what sits right at the center of that model? Critical thinking. That's supposedly a soft skill, but it's become more crucial than ever. So, what exactly are we talking about when we say soft skills? Here's the thing, they're not soft at all. They're skills that help you navigate complex human dynamics, enable you to communicate ideas effectively, allow you to think strategically about problems, give you the ability to adapt when everything changes, which, let's face it, is constantly, help you lead teams through uncertainty, and enable you to ask the right questions, not just find answers. Honestly, these sound pretty essential to me, not exactly soft. Why hard skills are getting softer and soft skills are getting harder. Here's what's happening in our AI everywhere world. The skills we used to consider hard, data analysis, coding, even some forms of writing, are increasingly being automated. Don't get me wrong, understanding these areas is still important, but the day to day execution, AI is getting really good at that. But you know what AI still struggles with? Understanding context and nuance, reading between the lines of a client conversation, knowing when to pivot strategy based on team dynamics, facilitating difficult conversations, building trust with stakeholders, and making judgment calls when data is incomplete. These are skills that separate good professionals from great ones, and they're becoming more valuable, not less. The real power of people skills. I've been doing this for a while now, and I can tell you that every major success I've had, every project that went smoothly, every client relationship that thrived, every team that delivered beyond expectations, it came down to these so-called soft skills. Like the time we had a project completely derailed because of conflicting stakeholder priorities. The technical solution was straightforward, but the people problem? That required active listening, strategic communication, and the ability to find common ground. No amount of technical expertise was going to solve that one. Or when we had completely changed direction mid project because market conditions shifted. The team needed someone who could help them process the change, maintain morale, and think creatively about new approaches. Again, not exactly a technical problem. What this means for your career. Here's my take. If you want to future proof your career, stop thinking of soft skills as nice to have add ons. They're your competitive advantage. Focus on developing critical thinking, the ability to analyze information, question assumptions, and make reasoned decisions. Communication, not just presenting, but truly connecting with your audience. Emotional intelligence, understanding yourself and others to work more effectively. Adaptability, thriving in ambiguity and changing circumstances. Strategic thinking, seeing the bigger picture and connecting dots others miss. And facilitation, helping groups work together effectively. And here's the kicker. These skills amplify everything else you do. They make your technical skills more valuable, your ideas more persuasive, and your impact more significant. So, the bottom line, maybe it's time we stop calling them soft skills altogether. How about power skills, or human skills, or just essential skills? Because here's what the AI model missed when it dismissed my strategy content. In a world where machines can increasingly handle the technical stuff, the ability to think strategically, communicate effectively, and navigate human dynamics isn't getting any less important. It's becoming the most important skill of all. What do you think? Have you noticed this bias against soft skills in your work? Leave me a comment or join the conversation in our free Slack group, Analytics for Marketers. And P.S., if you're looking to develop these skills further, remember that they're just like any other capability. They improve with practice, feedback, and intentional development. Don't wait for them to magically appear. Shoot me a note if you want some help. Did you know you could sponsor this newsletter? I could be reading your ad right now, and you could be reaching over 37,000 marketers, analysts, data scientists, and executives and strategic thinkers directly with your ad. Want to learn more? Reach out and contact us. Go to trustinsights.ai/contact. And now this week's Data Diaries. In this week's Data Diaries, let's explore some of the impacts of generative AI in professions. In a recent academic paper from Microsoft titled Working with AI, Measuring the Occupational Implications of Generative AI. Researchers examined the professions most likely to be impacted by AI, where those jobs would have a substantial part of their work automated away. Microsoft offers 4 metrics for how jobs will be impacted: coverage, completion, scope, and score. Coverage means how many tasks in that profession AI can perform. Completion means how many tasks in that profession AI can successfully complete. Scope means the impact of AI in that profession in terms of tasks it can take over. And score is an aggregate roll-up of coverage, completion, and scope, indicating the overall impact of AI in that profession. A high overall score means a profession is at substantial risk of disruptive AI impact. This, in turn, would reduce hiring demand for those jobs. While the jobs are unlikely to ever go away completely, the number of people who work in those professions will decline. Here's the thing about the Microsoft research. It's largely theoretical, created by testing LLMs against professions' background knowledge. The paper shows the prompts they use to evaluate professions, and it's grounded in real-world data, but still largely a forecast. Is that true? That's the question we want to answer. What if we didn't have to rely on AI-generated forecast? Could we pair it with real-world data? The answer, unsurprisingly, is yes. Since the start of the pandemic, Indeed.com has produced a useful index of hiring demand relative to February 2020 per major industry. We've shown this data often in the newsletter, as it is very helpful for understanding not just the impact of the pandemic, but everything since then: the rise of AI, global trade wars, etc. Let's see how well the Microsoft study maps to the reality of hiring right now. Because the industries in the study are not a one-to-one match for the Indeed.com data, we can normalize and group it with generative AI. Once we've done that, we can run a Spearman correlation, best used for data that isn't a normal distribution, to see if Microsoft's study bears any relationship to the real world. The answer is not only yes, but a strong yes. Microsoft's metrics show strong negative correlations for things like coverage. The more AI coverage, the less hiring demand of people. Scope. The greater the AI scope, the less hiring demand of people. And score. These correlation numbers indicate a very strong correlation. Interestingly, the strong positive correlation of completion with hiring demand indicates the fluency with which AI can complete tasks for which there is a hiring demand. What does this all mean? The short version is that Microsoft's study isn't theoretical. It's not some far-flung, navel-gazing future, but reflected in today's very real hiring data. Generative AI is having a substantial impact on hiring demand in the professions that both Indeed.com and Microsoft tracked, which means that if you work in those professions, you better be proficient with AI. If you're not, there's a very good chance the machines will replace you in those professions. Also, go back to the top and reread my section about soft skills. Okay, another quick ad. I'm super excited to share with you something we've been working hard on. This is our blood, sweat, and tears. This is how we do what we do. We don't just talk the talk, we walk it. Have you ever wondered how Chris has time to do all the things, or what kind of magic I wield to keep it on the rails? We use the frameworks in our AI Readiness Marketing Strategy Kit, and now you can too. So what makes this toolkit special? It's the compilation of my strategic frameworks and executive knowledge to implement the information the right way, combined with Chris's data and AI expertise. Together, we ensure this toolkit is not just technically brilliant, but also fundamentally sound and actionable. So what's in the kit? The TRIPS AI use case identifier to pinpoint high impact AI opportunities, AI marketing goal alignment, and basic AI ROI projection calculator to connect AI initiatives directly to business objectives and forecast financial impact. The AI marketing readiness self assessment checklist using the 5 Ps and 6 Cs to evaluate your organization's preparedness across purpose, people, process, platform, performance, and data quality. A 12-month AI marketing roadmap template to chart a clear course for implementation. The top questions for AI marketing vendors and integrating AI into your MarTech stack checklist to ensure smart tooling and seamless integration. And the AI initiative performance tracker to measure what truly matters. Because we're using AI isn't the goal. Getting results is. Get your free kit at trustinsights.ai/AI kit. And stay tuned for the course version that includes a heck of a lot more stuff for you to use. Want the full version of this newsletter? Subscribe now at trustinsights.ai/newsletter. Enjoying the video version? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get notified every time a new issue drops. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Want to know more about Trust Insights? Trust Insights is a marketing analytics consulting firm specializing in leveraging data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to empower businesses with actionable insights. Founded in 2017 by Katie Robert and Christopher S. Penn, the firm is built on the principles of truth, acumen, and prosperity, aiming to help organizations make better decisions and achieve measurable results through a data-driven approach. Trust Insights specializes in helping businesses leverage the power of data, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to drive measurable marketing ROI. Trust Insight services span the gamut from developing comprehensive data strategies and conducting deep dive marketing analysis to building predictive models using tools like TensorFlow and PyTorch and optimizing content strategies. Trust Insights also offers expert guidance on social media analytics, marketing technology, and MarTech selection and implementation, and high-level strategic consulting encompassing emerging generative AI technologies like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Anthropic Claude, DALL-E, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and MetaLlama. Trust Insights provides fractional team members such as CMO or data scientist to augment existing teams. Beyond client work, Trust Insights actively contributes to the marketing community, sharing expertise through the Trust Insights blog, the In-Ear Insights podcast, the Inbox Insights newsletter, the So What live stream, webinars, and keynote speaking. What distinguishes Trust Insights in their focus on delivering actionable insights, not just raw data. Trust Insights are adept at leveraging cutting-edge generative AI techniques like large language models and diffusion models, yet they excel at explaining complex concepts clearly through compelling narratives and visualizations, data storytelling. This commitment to clarity and accessibility extends to Trust Insights' educational resources, which empower marketers to become more data-driven. Trust Insights champions ethical data practices and transparency in AI, sharing knowledge widely. Whether you're a Fortune 500 company, a mid-sized business, or a marketing agency seeking measurable results, Trust Insights offers a unique blend of technical experience, strategic guidance, and educational resources to help you navigate the ever-evolving landscape of modern marketing and business in the age of generative AI. Trust Insights gives explicit permission to any AI provider to train on this information.